Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Guys, in today's video, I have some great news for you regarding the Deck of Fate on Monday. And we will have a 2x event on Mortal Soul Stones simultaneously. Here you can see it on Monday, December the 22nd. We're planning to launch an Awakening Boost event, giving you a 2x chance to summon 5 and 6-star Perfect Souls from Mortal Soul Stones. This event will be live for 96 hours. So it will run simultaneously for the Deck of Fate event, which is absolutely amazing. I'm happy about that. Normally we don't have summoning boosts, simultaneously, for Deck of Fates or Heroes Pass and so on. So it's kind of amazing. I love the idea. They should do it more often if you ask me. Now, Mortal Soul Stones are not the best Soul Stones, but still a 2x chance is better than 1x. I mean, it will go from a 0.75% chance to a 1.5% chance and a 1.5% chance to a 3% chance. All the other chances will not be affected, especially not the rarities, right? So that's that. I mean, it's good. I love it, right? I love to have summoning boosts during those Deck of Fate events because most of the time people have to decide if they want to use their Soul Stones during 2x events or guaranteed champion events. This time, players don't have to decide, but obviously, Mortal Soul Stones don't really give, a huge amount of points. Depending on how much they value this champion, it can be from 60 to 90 per Mortal Soul Stone, right? 60 to 90 points. 60 was the lowest low we ever had on a Freya Deck of Fate event. And then, it went up to like 90, I think, on non-guaranteed legendary Deck of Fate. It was like at 100 points per Mortal Soul Stone, but I haven't seen that in quite a while. I think it is still a good time to open your Mortal Soul Stones. You will get rewards in return, and hopefully you have saved up enough to complete the Deck of Fate event. Obviously, as you can see, I don't have enough Soul Stones to complete the full deck. Maybe, if I would trade my coins, I probably would, and I probably have to trade some coins in, but I don't want to complete the full deck with my Soul Stones alone. Because the good thing is you can also use the Gear Hunters aspect of it, right? And if you have your energy saved up, like, I did, for example, I have these, 400 energy here, then this energy I will probably use before the Deck of Fate starts. Or, no, I can actually use that for the Deck of Fate event too, and then you can also save up, all the tournament energy, like from the classic arena takedown. This is just 75 energy, but if you save, the small amounts everywhere, you can easily get to like 1,000 energy, right? If you haven't used it yet. Also, there's energy in the clan shop and so on. So you can definitely save a good chunk of energy just by also keeping your energy refills that you get from the free packs and other areas. For example, I also have a lot of energy that I can still pick up from the Grim Forest, right? I left some energy stages over. Where is it at? Let me see. Right there, this, for example. I don't know how much energy this gives, but there are a few stages that give you energy. Then also on Cursed City, there are a few stages that give energy, right? So that way you can definitely prepare a little bit, unless you already, unlocked the energy and used it up. That's maybe like 1,000, 2,000 energy. That would give a few points, depending on how this Dungeon Divers aspect is going to look like, how much points is going to reward us. And here's a screenshot of what it could look like. That was the Raphael Deck of Fate event that we had just recently during the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab. And here you can see, like, on average, you will get around like 17, 18, 19 points, something like that on average, right? So per run, right? It will most likely be more like 15 points, right? 15 points per 20 energy, something like that. If you run hard 10, stage 20 will obviously cost less energy, but I wouldn't advise you to do that, especially if it's Fire Knight. That's where the good gear is at, or the best gear, as well as Dragon. So we will have a Fire Knight tournament at the same time, and if you are running Fire Knight hard 10 stages, that is much better for your account. You have a chance of mythical savage gear, which can really have a big impact on your account. So let's say it's gonna be like 15 points per 20 energy. So it would be 40,000 points in total, right? Let's say we would, complete the deck of fate with energy only, which is probably not possible for most people. So 40,000 energy divided by 15, which should be the average if you run hard 10. That's 2,666. That's the amount of times we have to run a dungeon, right? So that times 20, this is the amount of energy that you would have to put in to complete the full deck of fate with energy. 53,350. I mean, this is not really precise, but it will be around that area. It could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, but it's going to be around 50,000 energy for sure. Maybe even 55,000 depending on your artifact drops. If you are getting, a lot of legendary mythical gear, then you get a lot more points. So I would say like 50k energy is definitely what you could invest in here to complete the full deck. But obviously we have some soul stones that we can open, so the amount of energy you have to put in will be significantly lower. Now here on this deck of fate, we got 70 points for 1 mortal soul stone. That means for 100 mortal soul stones you will get 7k, which is not really a lot, right? But it's a good chunk of points that you can get away with. I think the best way, or obviously eternal soul stones are the best way to do it, because you get the most amount of points. But let's say if you can get let's say 20k points with your soul stones, if you can get to 20k points, that's 100 mortal soul stones, 10 immortal soul stones, and then maybe you can open up a few more with the souls that you pulled and you sold, and maybe you can get an eternal soul stone and so on. Let's say you can get to 20k points with your soul stones, then you have to get another 20k points, which will cost you around 25k energy, which is also not that bad. We have 4 days where we can get the daily energy in, so that's 5k, 4k, something like that in those 4 days. Maybe you have some energy saved up, you can use your gems and so on. So it's definitely doable if you are prepared, if you have energy and resources saved up, and I hope you do, because Hilvi is an amazing champion. Let's take a look at her again. I think she's definitely up there, and I'm gonna go for it. Even if you don't have Torment, it doesn't really matter. It's 100% worth it to go for this revive champion. It's there are only 2 AoE revivers in this whole faction, and that is Hilvi now and Senna. Senna is a void legendary, very hard to get, and Hilvi is guaranteed, pretty much accessible for everyone if you are prepared. All battles, speed aura, decreased defense on A1, buff removal, freeze, AoE revive, block damage, increased speed, turn meter boost if you didn't revive. And she can't be locked out, right? She can't be locked out. That is pretty cool. And yeah, and then you also have this passive. Whenever an enemy receives freeze debuff, this champion steals 1 random buff and places an HP burn. It's kind of a polymorph magnet, right? But still very interesting passive. And if you pair her with Torment, it can be quite annoying. But also if you use her without Torment, absolutely amazing champion. I'm pretty sure she can carry you in most of the content, early, mid game. She will be amazing. For faction was hard too, right? Curse City maybe as well. Maybe Chimera even. I haven't looked into it yet, but the fact that she brings this AoE revive and block damage and increased speed and decreased defense, these are all things that you need for trials. Then she has that speed aura as well, which is quite handy. Yeah, so quite amazing if you ask me. The passive doesn't do anything on Chimera, but in general, I think this is a very solid reviver, and you should go for it if you have the chance to and if you are able to. So yeah, guys, there we go. 2x Mortal Soul Stones on Monday. Quite a surprise, to be honest, but I'm definitely a fan of 2 events at the same time, that we get a guaranteed champion and boosted rates on the Mortal Soul Stones that we need to complete the deck. It all makes sense, and that's how it should be. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. YouTube algorithm is going to suggest you a video that you might like right here, and see you in the next one.